homesteading to prepping to common horse sense, we are College Hill Farm. Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Well, it's time to harvest okra. Now, we planted this okra 2 months ago. Today is the September the 1st, and I planted this okra like July the 1st. So I planted it in sunflowers, my big old sunflowers. Let's look at them things. They're just hammering away. Oh, sunflowers look awesome. 14 foot tall. But anyway, it's time to harvest some okra. So, just so you know, I plant in wide rows so that I can till beside them. Now this okra has never had a hoe put to it. Okay? Let me say that again. This okra's never had a hoe put to it. I plowed beside it with my tiller close, but I never hoed it. So the okra's got weeds in it. Okay? Let me show you. It's got this old stuff. Okay? I hate this stuff, but you know, I can't get rid of it. So, can't beat them, join them. So, you know, we've got all these gardeners out there. Let me put you back over here. We got all these gardeners out there that have these nice, immaculate gardens. What you see is they grow enough food for 2 people for a month or 2. I'm growing enough food for 2 people for a year or 2, not a month or 2. So I don't have time to create these huge beds. Now, me and Crystal are getting older. You know, it's one of those things that we're not spring chickens anymore. We know it. I'll be 60 my birthday. So we're building raised beds so that we can continue living this lifestyle until our 80s, maybe beyond. My grandma lived to be 94. Anyway, none of the men did though, just saying. Anyhow, so I've got weeds in my garden. Okay, when I'm 70, I don't anticipate that I'm going to be raising enough food for me and Crystal for the entire year. I just don't anticipate that, because now I've raised garden stuff all my life. I've tried it all. I've tried hugelkultur. I've tried deep bedding. I've tried black plastic. I've tried landscape fabric. I've got some, and I'm going to show you in an upcoming video about the truth of no weed gardening. Okay? So be sure to look out for that. It's a myth. So I've got weeds here in my okra. Some plants can take some weeds. Some plants can't. You know, if you let your tomatoes get overrun with weeds, you don't get no tomatoes. If you let your onions get overrun with weeds, you don't get no onions. Okay? Corn. If you let your corn get overrun with weeds, you don't get no corn. But okra is a very forgiving plant, and it's tough. Tough, tough, tough. So let's go back here and have a look at this okra. Let me grab a bucket. Now, right here is my okra. Now, I haven't, like I said, I haven't weeded this. I've tilled beside it as the years gone by on both sides. But now, I couldn't till on the other side as much as I could on this one because of those sunflowers over there. Again, look at those beautiful sunflowers. They are awesome. The first thing to catch the morning sun on my property. I love them. Anyway, back to the okra. We got this okra, and I'm going to pull this back here and let you see the okra growing. Well, if I can get back where you can see. See, here's the okra. Let me get you off the tripod so I can show you better. Okay, here's our okra, and here it is flowering up at the top, and there'll be small okra down here on the bottom, and there'll actually be some big okra too, probably, in different places. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot right here. Okay, here there's some. See there it is. Look at how big that one is. See, that one's too big to eat. Now, I'll show you what that means here in just a second, but that's the way okra grows. There's plenty of okra in here. I have a 100-foot row of okra, so let's get it harvesting a little. Okay, I've pulled off 3 okras just to get started, and I want to show you what I'm looking for. Now, what you want is young, tender okra, because if you get this great old big stuff, it's not good to eat. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Now, this is young, tender okra, so I'm not worried about it. See how big it is in comparison to the others? Okay, I'll put it in the bucket. Now, this okra right here, I know I won't want to eat that. And let me show you how you can tell. You pull that over, and you notice how that didn't break off? Okay, that is just a tough, fibrous okra husk. That okra is going to seed. Let's check this one. This one might be the same way. So you take the tip, and see, it didn't break off clean either. Let me find another one. Okay, here's another one. Let's see. See how that tip, it just broke right off? Nice and clean. That okra is fine to eat. So, okay, I'm going to get down through here and collect okra. Now, this okra is just in its early stages of production. What I've got here, this is it for the whole row for right now. I've collected probably enough for a quart freezer bag, and I'll show you how to process them here in a little bit. Now, this okra, the thing about okra is that it's going to keep producing all the way to frost. Okay, so I've got September and October, all of September and all of October that this okra is going to produce. Eventually, I'll be harvesting bucketfuls like that. Bucketfuls, not that. A bucket full every 2 or 3 days. A lot of times, I'll use these to knock off some of these big ones. Like an okra plant like this. An okra plant like this one with these great big ones on here, like that. A lot of times I just come in and just nip those off, okay, and they're gone. And the reason I do that is so that this plant will keep producing. When those seed pods completely get big, they'll quit producing because they've done what their plant life told them to do. They've gone to seed. But if you look right here, this is the same plant. Look right there. What do you see? Okay, this is all flowers and little seeds, and they go all the way up through here. See that? So it's going to keep, the more it goes up, the more it produces. Now, through the year, I'll go through, I'll nip those off. But now as it gets close to the end of September, because by the end of September, me and Crystal have all the okra in the freezer that we can eat. By the end of September, I'll leave them. And then I'll show you in November how we harvest okra seed. Okay, I've washed all the okra. Now it's time to get it put up. All I'm going to do is make sure that these are good. See, that one broke easy. So all I do is I'm just going to cut them up about that thickness. Okay, 1/2 inch thick slices. And then we'll cut, when I get them all done, I'll leave about that much left on the stem end. And when I get them all done, then I'll come back to you and show you how it came out. Okay, there they are. We got a quart here. This is about 1.5 cups of cut up okra and about 1 cup over here. So that's just perfect to go in a stew or an etouffee or just whatever we like. I like okra a lot better than I like celery. So that is will happen over and over now through the whole month of September because the okra is coming in. And then this goes back. See, even I picked a few that were too big. That goes back to the compost pile. Really goes back, and I just throw it back in the garden.